Hello Gold Farmers, welcome to another Going Out Trying video. Today, I'm in a little bit better of a mood. Not that anything major has happened, I haven't found out from the doctor or anything that nothing's wrong or you know what I mean. I haven't found anything out about what's going on. I'm just in one of those moods where it's a little bit better of a day and things are a bit more bearable. So I will like to go ahead and mention that I did go to the doctor's just yesterday, so that would have been December 19th, and she ordered some blood work. And she said she wants blood work for everything, which includes stuff like for a hormonal disease, a deficiency, like a vitamin deficiency, iron deficiency, or even a NET, which, for those who don't know what a NET is, it's a form of cancer. I'm not necessarily too worried about any of those results, mostly because if it is cancer, then it's most likely the one that runs in my family, which is highly treatable. So I'm not stressing over the fact that I might have cancer, but it is a possibility. So, with that being said, I personally believe it's something hormonal. Um, Thyroid diseases run in my family as well. So, it's kind of hard to say for sure what is going on. But I do know that there are fixes. If everything comes back just fine from the blood work, the doctor's ordering some images or imaging, and if everything comes back okay from the imaging, then I'm going to see a chiropractor, which one of my fans reached out to me and recommended that I try to do that. So I'm going to use all of the resources I have been given to my fullest, and I'm going to try and hopefully get better. Not necessarily anytime soon, because I don't expect this to just be a quick fix. So, my videos are still going to probably be sporadic. I am going to change a little bit about what I am posting. I've been thinking a lot about this actually just the last couple of days, and I still want to do inspirational stuff, and I think I was thinking too hard about it and how I wanted to go about it. And I don't need to do vlogs to be inspirational. You know what I mean? I can be playing a video game like I am right now, and I can still be inspirational. So, with that being said, I'm hoping to do more inspirational stuff. Um, Probably just talk about my past some, go over some past stuff and tell you guys how I went from dwelling over the past and now I don't really necessarily dwell over the past. I do still think about it, but instead it's more so happy thoughts rather than a lot of negativity and stuff as such. So, with all of that being said, things are going pretty well. Again, I did go to the doctor yesterday. Things went pretty well at the doctor's. She was leaning towards hormonal or a net, I feel. I'm not going to say that she certainly was leaning towards either of those, but she did bring up the fact that it could be a deficiency in some way. So, either way, she believes it could be hormonal deficiency or a net. So, um, I just, that kind of put me in brighter spirits too, just knowing that the doctor kind of feels like it might be something I was already thinking. You know what I mean? So, that's where the tests are headed, anyways. And I did get my blood work done today, which I was a little nervous about just basically because of how I was feeling, at least this morning and yesterday, because I had the option of either doing the blood work yesterday or today, and I chose today because yesterday I was feeling very dizzy, lightheaded, not very well. Well, today, this morning, I wasn't feeling necessarily any greater, but I managed to pull through. They took 3 vials of blood, You know, nothing too big. I think the most blood I've ever had taken was 6 vials. Um, and I don't remember what they were testing for at that time, but obviously nothing came back. So, I want to talk to you guys a little bit more about the net that I could have. At least I could be wrong on this being a net, but from my understandings, it is. It's called carcinoid. Um, and I don't remember if it's rarely cancerous or if it's rarely non-cancerous. That's something I'm not too familiar on. I'm thinking that it's rarely non-cancerous. So, unfortunately, if I have a carcinoid tumor, then it's most likely cancerous. But the reason I'm not worried about this is because it's such a slow-growing tumor. Um, it actually takes up to like 9, 10 years before they will even uh, really diagnose you with it. Before say, I guess, you know what I mean? So it's not like it's not a very easily detected cancer, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So, sorry, I'm not very good at playing this game and focusing on talking, but either way, um, basically, it's a slow growing cancer. So, even if I've had it for the last 10 years, you know, and I've had all these tests, I'm not really going to show any symptoms, and there's really nothing that can be done until it's been growing for the last about 10 years. So, while I've had all of these issues for a while, if it is a net, then the reason they haven't detected it is because of the type of net it is. So, again, I'm not worried about it. It's fairly treatable. You know, my older sister had half of her lung removed, and my grandpa, who we aren't 100% sure had this same cancer, but we do believe it was just because it was on the lung and they couldn't really say for sure what caused the cancer because a lot of people associate lung cancer with um, they associate cancer with smoking. And if I remember right, my grandpa never smoked. He drank, but he didn't smoke. He wasn't one for smoking. And for the most part, um, I don't know. It was on the lung, which is one of the locations where carcinoid can be found in. Um, it's a slow growing cancer, and even at that, like even my sister's was surgically removed, and unfortunately, my grandpa passed from it. You know, he passed from a lung cancer, and a lot of that is because he didn't get the treatment he needed because they didn't detect it soon enough. Um, but at the same time, I guess I want to touch base on this a little bit. Back then, it was probably like 30 years ago or so. Almost 30 years ago. So I was real young when this happened. And that was before they knew what carcinoid was. Carcinoid is a fairly new form of, well, not really new form, but it's newly discovered, and a lot of research is being done about it to this day. You know, so there's just a lot of what ifs right now. Again, I'm not really worried about any of them because they're all highly treatable. Um, but yeah, let's touch base a little bit more on the videos I plan on doing now. So, I've talked about doing inspirational stuff a lot, and I haven't really gotten around to doing the inspirational stuff. A lot of that's due to a couple of different reasons. One of them's me overthinking it. Um, if you overthink something, it's overthinking is very debilitating in itself. So when you overthink something to the point of you have to hold off on it before you do anything with it, which is what I've been doing, it really sets you back. And because that's how I think or overthink things, usually, um, I usually just put things on hold, until I can get things figured out. That's what I've been doing with my books. That's what I've been doing with my music. I do that with everything I you can possibly think of that I do. You know, it's just how I am because I want to be as perfect as possible with things. And if I can't be as perfect as possible, then there's no sense in me even going about trying to start it. And that's where I fail a lot of times is I don't start things because they're not perfect enough for me to start. So I am really trying to break that habit. So I think the videos is where this is gonna start, and I'm gonna try to do at least a video a week. Granted, it could be. So let's say today's Friday. Let's say I post today, and then next Friday comes up. I might not post that Friday. I might post before that next Thursday. So it'll be almost like a 2 weeks gap, but it's still within that week, if that makes sense. I don't want to have a set schedule just because once I tell myself to have a set schedule, things just, I don't know, they go downhill from there. It's hard for me to be on a routine. Um, as far as what inspirational things I'm going to do, again, I kind of wanted to do a testimony. I was working on writing one, and I could probably go over that with you guys. Just read it a little bit and touch base with how I dealt with that during that time, why I am the way I am now. Just things like that. I really want to help people, and I can't help people by not doing anything. I've also heard that you can't help people if you can't help yourself. Well, helping people helps me. And I've heard that that's not a good enough reason to help people and stuff like that, but I've learned to shut people like that out because that's not necessarily true. If helping other people helps you grow, at least, then everything's fine. There's got to be some form of growth going on, and without growth, um, you're not growing. I guess you know what I mean. So what I've learned, and this could be a part of the little inspirational thing. One of the things I've really learned throughout the past events I've had in my life is it doesn't really matter what other people think or what other people say or even how other people respond to the things that you go about doing. It's more so about what you reflect on. If you can reflect on something and you're like, yeah, maybe I was acting that way to this person at one time. You know, at, in reality, it doesn't really matter what that person's thinking as long as you can reflect on, or like, I'm trying to figure out how to say this. So, if you can reflect on a past event and you realize that you were in the wrong, then you can think back at that moment and be like, yeah, I was in the wrong, maybe I should apologize to this person, or maybe I'm just gonna acknowledge the fact that I was wrong and I'm gonna go on about my day, But when somebody is telling you you are in the wrong and you reflect on it and you're thinking, like, how am I in the wrong? I can't make sense of how I did wrong here. It's just not adding up. That's when you got to be like, okay, that means I really should shut these people out because if I can't make sense of how I was in the wrong, even if you were in the wrong, um, eventually you'll realize, hey, yeah, I was in the wrong. I guess what I'm trying to say is a lot of how things are done is through reflection. If you can't reflect, then how are you going to learn? How are you going to acknowledge and how are you going to better yourself? You know, those are all very good points and things to think about and reflect on. You know what I mean? So, um, just really think about what I said there about the reflecting. You know, I could care less about the beginning of this video just because it's just an update. You know, I don't need to update you guys. I don't need to do any of that, but me being the type of person I am, I like to make sure that the people who care about me, and there are a lot of people that don't care about me that watch my videos, but the people who do care about me that watch my videos, I really like to let them know what's going on. You know what I mean? That also brings me to this point too before I end the video. I'm not telling you guys any of this stuff because I want attention. And I know there's a lot of people out there that probably think, oh, well, he's just after attention. If I was after the attention, I would have been definitely, definitely have been making videos about this stuff prior to this moment. Yes, I have made videos about my health in the past, but a lot of that was resolved with either, oh, I have asthma, or oh, I have cluster headaches, or, you know, like, I've already been diagnosed with that stuff, so I'm kind of catching you guys up on missing information, you know. So if you're one of those people who thinks, you know, maybe I'm just out for the attention, really think about how much attention I'm trying to get out of something that's been going on with me for the last like 10 to 11 years. You know, really think about that because I can tell you right now, I don't care about attention. Obviously, I don't care about attention because there's a lot of things that I could have done to get attention, but I haven't. So, thanks for watching, everybody, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.